Peace and love, you beautiful miracles for the spiritual level being. Nathan here from a spiritual level being. Today I want to discuss the serpent, the secret meanings of the serpent, its advancement in time. Now, the serpent is also responsible for man's imagination that in turn created great things. The pyramids you see in South America, they're stepping stones. They watched a serpent, a snake, moving, and they got the idea to make stepping stones. Observing nature. This is observance and intelligence and wisdom. Nature. And together with your imagination, having fun. This is what imagination is. Your brain having fun, your mind having fun. Now, the kundalini. Religious people make this statement that it's dangerous. Bah, hooey. Kundalini awakening is you awakening up to this world, having almost like psychedelic experience visions you see in your meditation sense, but deeper experiences of yourself. Different varieties of emotions that you truly decipher, that you see within yourself, that you see the absolute you. Things that you buried. And you're confronting this. So this is an awakening. And this wakes you up. So this is why religious people say it's dangerous, is because it wakes you up to their bullshit. And your life is changed. When you have your awakening experience, your third eye opening, you're now a different person. You have a different consciousness. Your conscious level is no longer the same. You've gone to a higher state of being. Now, the serpent is also the kundalini, traveling up. Now, this also in turn goes with your breath, your heartbeat. So all of this goes in with chakras. It's your main functioning organs. It's more than this. It's the planets, the system of 12, which is the 12 planets. So you need the exact planets in positioning with the correct motion of the planet around the sun to spark life. And also water is key. Now, water, the essence of the Holy Spirit, in the Gnostic sense, is a part of you. We all carry water within us. Water is also universal, so it's the universal mother. Water sparks life. No life can exist without some form of liquid water within it. Now, the experience of all this also goes back to the ages of serpents, which were in turn then later worshipped as gods. This is why we have many serpent dragon deities. There were symbolic meanings they see with the serpent. They seen it as not just life but death. The snake would be an egg and it would emerge from its egg. This egg in a sense was also seen as life itself. It also represented life, death, rebirth. Now the ancients, they're aware of life and death, rebirth, aware of reincarnation. They were really big on it. It was their explanation of how the world worked, how things live and die so often. New life emerging, new experiences. Now, the serpent itself doesn't just also represent life and death. It also represents the masculine and femme, as did a lot of plants, as plants can also be male, female, hermaphrodite. A lot of animals too. So they've seen this within the force of energy, within all life itself. So it's in the sense of masculine and femme being universal, being in language, being in energy, thoughts, and in physical sex. So the serpent also represented medicine. It represented poison. So it represented balance. And the ancients were observing nature. They were very observant. They were looking for deeper answers, spiritual truths within. Now, the Kundalini awakening, in a sense, is gnosis, is spiritual gnosis, unlocked from within oneself. Realizing their level of being and truly observing themselves and no longer letting what controlled them now. So they're in control. They realize they're the master. They are the master key. And that they realize the quality of their life depends on the quality of their thoughts. Just like we can change our moods, we can also change our thoughts, our actions. And this is from the two poles in the sense, the opposite and basically, well, I should have said that, the negative and positive, or even the masculine and femme. Now, this doesn't actually mean negative and positive. This is just actual systems of matter that forms us. Systems of chemicals. We are chemicals. Our emotions are chemicals. So all life itself is a living. It's this whole big living organism, a monad, if you will. We're all a monad. Now, the serpent itself, many different types. You have pythons. You have poisonous snakes. And the ancients would have also seen this. So you've seen the two properties. But they also seen with the poison, they could also make medicine out of it. So again, this also was used for life, death, rebirth, as they used the snake venom as also a form of euthanasia. And this was done in ancient Egypt, even practiced by some Gnostics. Some Gnostics chose to starve to death on their last days of life. So when they knew they were dying, they would they would do this practice, and they would pass on, believing that at the end of their life, being purified, they no longer carried the sins onto their next life. So the baptism was left at the end, and this was called a spiritual sanctum. Now, the Gnostics themselves seen serpent as one trying to wake humanity up, also seen it as Jesus. But this being said, this is Jesus challenging this evil deity, challenging the idea of it. So all these symbolic meanings are just meanings, deeper meanings of deeper truths, not really to be taken literal. Like the Jesus of the Bible himself is mostly fiction. There was a historical Yeshua. He had a Gnostic way of thinking. He was an Essene Jew. He did not follow the dogma of what become Christianity now, what was then a type of Judaism. There were many types of Judaism. Now, in one of the Gnostic Gospels, he says that he was a serpent that woke up humanity. And this is a banned text. This is the Gospel of Judas. He also stated that he was a hawk that led Adam and Eve towards the tree of knowledge, waking up humanity from this evil God, recognizing the inner divine within yourself, that you are God, you are the absolute, and you are the all. He said that I do not accept human praise. Now, with the old mystery schools, they wouldn't write down their knowledge, they would pass it on, because they believed once you wrote it down, it would become dogma, and people would just rely on the words alone. Now, the serpent, in a sense, on this was to wake humanity up, not to get lost in the one way of thinking there was duality, in a sense. So written words can also be toxic as well as beautiful. So most traditions were passed on orally. So the Druids themselves, some of their teachings later passed on to what become the Gnostics. The Gnostics really seen the good in all religions, but they took a bit of everything. They were the first omnivores in a sense. So they've seen everything as connected. And this term is very misused, Gnostic. It was really someone that understood the esoteric knowledge, someone in the pursuit of knowledge, gnosis, spiritual knowledge from within oneself, and seen themselves in this world and how the world worked, and seen all life as one in this constant balance, life supporting life. And the serpent was also symbolically represented with this. It was also represented with infinite life because of it could make the infinity symbol. So certain things like this observing, we made many patterns from simply observing nature. Peace and love, everyone. I love you all. Connect to one, mind and soul. Namaste.